Eric Deters, the Bulldog, on Real Talk 1160. Ready to deliver radio superbity to you. The kind of superbity that you expect. How about Josh Hamilton? 5 for 5 and 4 home runs last night.
Nice.
Yeah, let me see. We traded away Josh Hamilton for a pitcher, Volquez, who is no longer with us. That we did get Matt Latos for, so I guess we could argue that if Matt Latos turns out to be, I don't know if you give up a everyday superstar player for a pitcher who pitches every 5th day. I don't think you do that, TC.
No. By the way, I was thinking about a new promotion for Green Water.
Yes.
What we could do is start giving away cases of green water to people and give them 1 month, same as cash. And if Homer Bailey ever has a decent outing, they get to keep it free.
That's a great idea.
It'll never happen.
Maybe we ought to discuss Homer Bailey endorsing green water. Hey, Homer, you're kind of down. You want a good job?
Yeah, I don't think any other
How
advertiser.
you like my hat? This is from a Bulldog Nation member.
Get it on the camera.
Ryan gave me a Bulldog hat.
Can the camera see that?
The camera can see that. The
That's a great
Bulldog hat.
Turn to the side for just a second.
This side.
No, this way. I want to see. There, look at that. Yeah, okay. Nice.
Hey, TC.
Yes.
There's a lot in the news, buddy. There's so much stuff going on. It's incredible.
No.
Did you hear about the memo? There's a memo that the Obama, I tell you, David Axelrod, Rahm Emanuel, Barack Obama, these guys are just dirty, rotten Chicago politicians of the first order, and they violate every day. Eric Holder, he's in some more soup. But how about this, TC?
A memo?
They had a memo prepared. And you know how Obama said, the SEAL team, he's taking credit. They had a memorandum prepared that if the mission to kill Osama bin Laden failed, they were going to blame the troops. They were going to blame the military personnel involved. So here they are. They were going to blame SEAL Team 6 if it didn't work.
This is documented?
Yeah.
Really?
There's a memorandum that the White House had prepared for that. Now, how disgusting is that, TC?
Wow. You know what I'm thinking? They're thinking, we don't want to end up like Jimmy Carter. It's not a good thing. I'm not.
But they're acting. They're trying to take credit for killing bin Laden instead of SEAL Team 6. But if it would have went bad, we're going to blame SEAL Team 6.
Isn't that how the heroes get treated?
Now let me share something that I haven't heard anybody in the national news discuss. But the Bulldog, at his reservoir of history and knowledge, knows and remembers. Dwight Eisenhower wrote up a press release that he had in his back pocket, and he was going to announce, it wasn't going to be anybody else. He was going to go on the air and take full responsibility for the D-Day failure.
Now, see, that's a leader.
If D-Day didn't work, Eisenhower was just going to accept responsibility.
Yeah.
Barack Obama? It wasn't my fault. See, they can't change who they are. It's that frog and the scorpion story.
Yeah, you're right.
They are scorpions. They can't help that they are Chicago thug politicians. And they are never going to change.
I can't argue with you, but you know what? The Republicans, on both sides, all the there are no frogs. They're all scorpions.
I agree with you.
They're all scorpions.
I agree with you.
Industrial strength dumb. There's a memo, a paper trail.
God, I know.
Okay, someone like that maybe should be voted out on stupidity alone.
And let me share this with you. I just know how this works. The rats will run from the ship. When they see that the party is over, they will run from the ship. But we'll save that a little bit for later. Let's get to pop culture.
All right.
We like to start our show a little lighthearted before we get into the serious stuff. On The Voice last night, Jermaine Paul won the competition. Congratulations, Jermaine. The Avengers will receive an extended run on IMAX screens. Ha-ha! After they clamored for more.
You saw the 3D version, didn't you?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
3D now, they don't give you those cheap little paper 3D glasses. They give you actual glasses. It works much better.
Well, you're paying $20 to get in.
That's right. The 2011 legislature in Nevada passed the first law in the nation to permit testing of driverless cars. Why do you need a driverless car?
How lazy are you?
Hillary Clinton on no makeup. If I want to wear my glasses, I'm wearing my glasses. If I want to wear my hair back, I'm pulling my hair back. At some point, it's just not something that deserves a lot of time and attention. Good for you, Hillary.
Obviously, she doesn't give it a lot of time and attention.
Matthew McConaughey's Trailer Park movie found itself in it's called Killer Joe. It's been slapped with an NC-17 rating for scenes involving drug use, nudity, violence, and graphic sexuality. I wonder if Matthew McConaughey plays his bongo drums naked in the trailer.
Who's the female lead in this one?
I don't know.
I'd like to find out.
NC-17, who's the female lead? Cher twittered, if Romney gets elected, I don't know if I can breathe same air as him and his right-wing, racist, homophobic, women-hating teabagger masters.
How can she breathe at all without that plastic surgery she's had?
Good point. Here's another one. Too harsh? That's me holding back. They care nothing about the poor, the old, the sick, the hungry, children, and people striving for a better life. Seriously, Cher?
Wow.
I mean, good golly.
When you're a celebrity like Cher, a big name, you haven't had a hit in I don't know how many years, you got to do something to get back in the press,
Well, she's back in it now.
Yeah.
The Huffington Post reports that they've reviewed, I don't know how they do this, they review stats including the amount of porn DVDs purchased, rented, or streamed, the number of adult entertainment stores, and Orlando is the biggest capital of this type of behavior in the world. Orlando, you won. And Dancing with the Stars, Roshan Fagan and Melissa Gilbert. Oh,
no,
how could
Melissa.
they kick off little Laura Ingalls? We're sent home. Gone.
Kick off the prairie.
Bye. In local news, Highlands. Andrea Connors, a well-liked business teacher at Highlands High School, resigned. And the rumors are flying. Did she have an inappropriate relationship with a 17, now 18-year-old boy? She's married and has 2 kids. You know what? That's a bad day, not just for her.
Yeah.
That's a bad day for her husband.
Yeah.
If it's true.
We have had a lot of stories lately about inappropriate behavior between teachers and students. Don't you think that they would kind of pick up on what's going on and say, hey, this isn't right. I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose my marriage. I'm going to...
There's a lot of people get arrested every day for bank robbery.
Yeah.
There's still bank robberies.
Good point.
Walnut Hills, top high school in Ohio and 90th in the nation.
Really?
Beechwood was ranked number 3 in the state and 202nd in the nation. Where's my Covington Latin Trojans? They should be number 1. You graduate from high school at 15. How good of a school do you got to be to do that? Don't you agree?
Well...
Urkel. Half of the University of Cincinnati cops could be gone by July due to the elimination of a contract with University Hospital. Sorry, guys and gals.
Wow.
The first phase of the employment cuts at P&G is to be finished by the end of June, resulting in 1,600 departures. The Ohio teacher pension reform was pushed through the Senate. Teachers are going to receive an increase of 10%, contribution to 14% paid in the retirement plan. 2 years have been added, which requires a public teacher to be 55 with 32 years on the job to retire.
So they have to work longer?
They have to work longer and harder. Gosh darn it.
But now, according to the article in the Inquirer, there's no increase to the taxpayer.
Correct.
So is that a good thing, or
that's a good thing?
You're not a teacher, I suppose.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Unless you're a teacher. I want more money. Local companies with revenues that land them in the Fortune 500. Kroger, the 23rd largest. We're blessed. Listen to this. Kroger, 23rd. Procter & Gamble, 27. Macy's, 110. Ashland, 307. Fifth Third, 372. AK Steel, 381. Omnicare, 389. General Cable, 421. Western Southern, 482. Green Water Company just missed out at 501.
We'll get him next year.
Gosh darn right we will. Gosh darn right we will. This is the Bulldog, Eric Deters on Real Talk 1160. When we return, we will cover sports. And we got a lot of fun news, serious news. Obama, blame the SEAL team if it doesn't work on Real Talk 1160.
We'll find out what Bill O'Reilly has to say about the morning's news coming up in the O'Reilly Talking Points at 7:28 this morning. Right now, let's get back to the Bulldog.
Eric Deters, the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. Quote of the day is from George Washington. Few men have virtue to withstand the highest bidder. He found that out with Benedict Arnold.
That's where my loyalty is.
Today in history, TC, in 1899, the lawnmower was patented. I wonder if it was like, it had to be the lawnmower that you pushed and had those blades, the non-power mower.
You know, there's a guy down the street from me that has one of those, and I see him out there. And
he still uses it?
Yeah, he does. Now,
sharpens those blades?
Takes 4 hours, but he's out there.
In 1960, the United States was the first country to allow the use of the birth control pill. No wonder the 60s happened. We gave those beautiful young women the pill, and look what the heck happened. Hell in a handbasket.
I want to know about that patent on the lawnmower. I bet you it wasn't a guy that got a patent on that thing. When he realized what it was going to cost him, his wife got the patent.
You're right. It was a woman.
Yeah.
It was a wife.
The next day, the first honeydew list was made.
Great. Famous birthdays today. 33 years old is Rosario Dawson. And if you ever watched the movie Alexander, just watch the she played his wife. That scene is just so disgusting. Did you see that scene?
What?
Rosario's Dawson Alexander scene?
No, I have never, ever.
Billy Joel is 63 today.
Really? 63. Yeah. I love Billy Joel.
Candace Bergen is 66, and Mike Wallace's birthday would have been today. Military deaths, sad to report. Specialist Juno M.L. Cocculus, 34 of Charlotte, North Carolina, and Second Lieutenant David E. Rylander, 23 of Stowe, Ohio. Where's Stowe, Ohio, you know?
I'm not sure. Let me Google it.
Staff Sergeant Thomas K. Fogarty, 30 of Alameda, California. God bless them. They lost their life in Afghanistan, folks. Ugh, makes me mad, makes me mad, makes me mad. Got a great history story for you today. In 1687, a new coffee house opened near London's riverfront. It soon became this was not Starbucks, okay? It soon became a popular spot for seafarers and traders, open around the clock, and was always crowded. One corner was reserved for ship captains only. For the benefit of his customers, Edward Lloyd kept a chalkboard listing the arrival and the departure dates of cargo ships along with other useful information. Patrons found Lloyd's dimly lit booths a convenient place to negotiate insurance for future voyages. That started a trend that is still going strong more than 300 years later. The brokers and underwriters who frequented Lloyd's eventually bought the coffee house and turned it into a world-class insurance association. Today, Lloyd's of London is renowned for insuring the uninsurable, a film star's legs, the unsinkable Titanic, a satellite in space. Boy, I bet you they paid pretty on the Titanic. Though he never sold any, Edward Lloyd's name is synonymous with insurance, since it all began over a cup of coffee. Now you know the rest of the story. That's a good one, isn't it? You know what Lloyd's biggest loss ever was?
I have no idea.
$3 billion from the World Trade Center attacks.
Oh, wow.
I bet you when that hit, they said, oh, my God.
Yeah, that's rough.
Jennifer Lopez has denied reports that her backside is insured for $1 billion through Lloyd's of London. I ought to maybe insure. Look, I'm sure my voice.
You know, there are
God, if I
celebrities
lost
that do
my
have,
voice, that would hurt my legal and radio career.
Remember, what was it, Entertainment Tonight? what was that?
Yeah.
Joan
E.T.?
Hart? Yeah. Was it Joan Hart?
Joan Hart.
Joan
yeah.
Hart. She had
Mary Hart.
Mary Hart had her legs insured for $1 million back in the 80s. And they were worth every dollar.
Hey, TC, there was this guy at a bar.
Yeah.
And he was just looking at his drink. And he just keeps looking at his drink for about a half an hour, just staring at his drink. Then this big truck driver came in and sat down next to him. Took the drink from the guy and drank it. And the poor man sitting there that was staring at his drink just started to cry. And the truck driver says, "Come on, man, I was just joking. Here, I'll buy another drink." Well, what happened? What happened? Jeez, Pete. It's fun. Hold on a second. This is hilarious. Where's the rest of my joke?
So the waiter says it's not my table.
This is hilarious. This has never happened before. I lost the rest of my joke.
Oh, wait, would
Wait
you
a
like,
minute.
hold on, here's what we'll do. Just like
No,
the soap
no,
operas,
no.
a cliffhanger.
I read this. I read it. I can do this. I can do this without props.
So
here's what happened. So the guy starts crying. The truck driver says, "Hey, I'm just joking around. I'll give you it." And the guy says, "Man, this has been the worst day of my life. I went to work, and the first thing that happened when I got to work is I got fired. I got home. I found out that my car got repossessed at the bank. Then the sheriff showed up and served me papers that my house was being foreclosed upon. Then my wife left a note in the kitchen saying she was leaving me, and she took all the money and the kids. So now I'm getting divorced. My world is falling apart." And the guy says, "Man, that's a lot to happen, man. I don't blame you for crying." He says, "Yeah, and then I was just going to kill myself by poisoning my drink, and you took my poisoned drink."
That was worth the wait. That was worth the wait. Goodbye, Mr. Truck Driver.
I'm glad I prepared today. That would have been embarrassing.
Oh, that was pretty good, though. That was worth the wait. It was worth the wait. We could have done a cliffhanger, though, you know.
You did a cliffhanger. That was funny.
Give the setup and then wait till after the O'Reilly report and then give the punchline.
Are you ready for some sports?
I are ready. Do we have time for sports?
I don't know how much time we got.
We got a couple minutes.
We'll do it quick.
All right, we got
sports.
time for sports.
The NCAA is sending a couple of their inspectors up to the high school of UK recruit Nerlens Noel. Apparently, they're concerned about some teachers and coaches trying to take advantage of him. Apparently, it has nothing to do with UK. It has to do with others. You know, he's probably said, "Hey, will you get these people off my back?"
Right.
UC and UK might play basketball. Since UK has dropped Indiana, there's a potential that UC and UK could start playing every year.
Really?
Boy, that would be lights out.
Now, what would you call that?
For this
the
region.
Ohio River.
The Ohio River shootout.
Classic shootout. Yeah. That'd be huge.
That would be. Can you imagine this area, UC versus UK every year?
Man, yeah.
UK'd win. See, I'm going to start it.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Homer Bailey pitched great. 8-3, we lose to the Brewers.
He pitched great for Milwaukee.
But we'll win tonight. Why? Or today? Because Johnny Cueto's on the mound.
Cueto.
At 1:10 p.m. Let me see. The Pacers beat the Magic and won the series. The Bulls beat the 76ers, leading the series 3-2. Celtics 3-2. I already told you about the Hamilton. That's enough for sports. The Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. Eric Deters, the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. We do have a few more sports things we have to cover. Wagering on the Derby, a record $187 million.
Wow.
13.2% increase from last year. Holy cow. Next year, let's go find a horse. We'll call it Vinny Greenwater. Vinny Greenwater coming down the stretch.
That's it. Vinny Greenwater.
By the way, we have agreed on a style for Vinny. So you guys are going to see this billion-dollar corporation play out. Let me give you the update. First of all, the Greenwater Company has been formed, of which TC and I own 50-50.
Yeah.
Then we have designed Vinny the Weasel, and we've agreed on a design of great-tasting, slimy Greenwater.
And the thing is, we needed Vinny because when the cops come, someone's got to take the fall.
Absolutely. He'll tell on us, but we're not going to tell Vinny anything.
No, he's a fall guy.
He's a fall guy.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell you anything, Vinny.
Right.
Does the other guy in the microphone have anything he'd like to share with us today?
This portion of Green Water is brought to you. This portion of Bulldog Nation is brought to you by Great Tasted Slimy Living Green Water. Green Water, where freshness is not an option.
Let's get this, folks. A dealer testified against Clemens regarding a shipment to Clemens' home. Listen, the label was addressed to Brian McNamee, Clemens' former strength coach, at Clemens' home address in Texas. Kirk Radomski said the shipment was for 2 kits of HGH, about 50 to 100 needles.
Wow.
Now here's what, if I'm Roger Clemens, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, hey, it was addressed to this jackwagon.
Yeah, why?
Not me.
Yeah, why am I on trial?
The Jeremy or the Simpsons, the Simpson, the wide receiver, his defense, Jerome Simpson's defense. It wasn't me.
Came to his house, but it must have been a mistake, officer.
Now get this jackwagon. Former Penn State assistant football coach Mike McQuarrie is filing a whistleblower lawsuit against Penn State University. This is the guy who didn't stop the molestation in the shower to going on. Court documents indicate that McQuarrie will be seeking monetary damage.
Wait a minute.
What the hell was he hurt for?
Really? If he didn't say anything, so he didn't blow the whistle?
TC, the world is coming to an end. That's all I can tell you, man.
Not before this afternoon.
I think I need a feel-good song.
I think we do.
I think we got a good feel-good song. We haven't used this guy yet in our feel-good song lineup. This is for Indiana. For you taking down Richard Luger. We give you Indiana's own.
All right.
John Mellencamp. Whatever happened to the word cougar?
Cougar.
No longer the cougar. I like cougar better. John Cougar Mellencamp.
He didn't like the name Cougar himself.
Crank it up, TC. We like this.
The record company told him he'd never be a star with the name Mellencamp. Seriously, they made him change it to Cougar.
Bam. My bad. I unplugged Brad's his earphones.
He can't hear the song.
Yeah, yeah. Dick Luger. Taken down by Mr. Tea Party.
I heard one report said that he was the oldest or the longest running senator.
It was time for him to go.
Now, he's been there longer than Mitch McConnell? Wow.
It's a great song.
I kind of feel sorry for Richard Luger. Imagine when the whole school knows that your girlfriend's going to break up with you before you know.
It's a good point. How about this? That's all he has known. Lifetime politician.
Yeah.
You see Sarkozy waving to the crowd? He wasn't smiling. Donald Trump has predicted Carla Bruni is going to break up with Sarkozy any day now. Honey, you're not the prime minister anymore. I can't be dating a loser. I'm a former supermodel.
What, do you want me to work hard?
Thank God I am not married to a supermodel. Can you imagine that maintenance?
He'd have to work too hard. He'd have to work too hard.
I don't know if you know this, TC. I experienced this world, shall I say.
Yes.
Many years ago, I guess it's been almost 10 years ago, I represented a woman who was in a fuss with a very wealthy Cincinnatian. And this woman, to be very honest with you, was not what I would consider, babylicious.
Okay.
But she thought she was, and apparently wealthy Cincinnatians thought she was. And they had an apartment in Paris because she was from Paris.
Pretty wealthy.
And they broke up, and she wanted to sue this guy and all this other stuff. And I met a couple of these women, like they were witnesses to her case and whatnot. And there's this, like people don't realize it, like the MMA, that's like underculture. You know what I'm saying? In other words, everybody, radio, you have your own culture, your own world.
Circles, yeah.
I mean, and that there's like thousands of those in the United States. The skateboarders, okay?
Yeah.
Well, there's this underculture of women who prey upon or let themselves be prey upon, former models, good looking, and they are always just looking for these men to, they be their concubines, their girlfriends, their lovers, their escorts, whatever.
Be a kept woman.
And it's a whole different world. And I mean, these women go from one dude to the other.
Wow.
And I can tell you a story in northern Kentucky of this one girl that was being fought over by 3 wealthy northern Kentuckians.
Really?
I will go ahead and say one of them because he's deceased. One was Lanny Holbrook.
Okay.
And I won't name the other 2 because they're still alive, and I don't want to embarrass them. But they were fighting over this woman, and I'm looking at this woman, and I'm like, what the hell are you all fighting over her? And this woman would go from rich guy to rich guy. And what happens is if you're with one rich guy and you're going to the party circuit, well, you meet other rich guys, and they're like, oh, I'm going to see if I can steal her. And you just go, and it's a messed up world, man. It's a messed up world.
Well, I'm sure it was just the intellectual stimulation that she provided.
Yeah. But anyway, they how do I get onto this thing?
We were talking about wealthy. We were talking about rocking in the USA. I don't know.
How the heck did we get on this subject matter? Let's move on.
Shall we?
Hey, Michelle Bachmann, get this. Miss wants to be the president of the United States, right?
Yes.
She has now been granted dual citizenship to Switzerland and the United States.
What?
Now, I got to ask you this question. What the hell does she know that we don't know that why she wants to be a citizen of Switzerland?
That's where her money is. I don't know.
That's funny, isn't it?
Does she have roots there? I mean,
I don't know. By the way, this is hilarious. I love Bulldog Nation. This is funny because they respond so quickly. A Bulldog Nation member just sent me a text. Lanny Holbrook offered nothing. I'm thinking to myself, this might be one of these women in this underculture. They just sent me a text saying Holbrook offered nothing. Well, he was rich once. He was rich once.
Better leave that one alone.
You know, I'm an honorable man because I'm protecting the identity of the other 2 men fighting over this woman. But it is a hoot. And trust me, Northern Kentuckians, Cincinnatians, you know them.
Now, see, those 2 guys
you
are
know
listening
them
right now and sweating bullets because he's going to slip and say my name.
And by the way, let me tell you something.
Don't.
I thank my lucky stars that I'm not in that world because can you imagine playing in that world? I mean, who can? You know what? Let me give you a tip. Find one good woman and hold on to them.
Never trust the mistress.
Never trust the mistress.
I'm telling you.
Never send the mistress nude photographs by cell phone.
Yeah, don't do
Brett
anything
Favre.
incriminating.
Let me see. The latest al-Qaeda bomb plot targeting U.S. aircraft was unraveled from inside the terrorist group by operatives, including a double agent working on behalf of the CIA and its counterparts. I love that. I like when that happens. The U.S. Army has taken delivery of 9 Russian-made M117 helicopters for the Afghans from Rosa Boron Export under a $375 million contract. We're cutting defense spending in the U.S., but we're still buying aircraft for Afghanistan from the Russians. Jeez, I'm telling you, the world's messed up. Let me see. More than 1,300 tubes that carry radioactive water inside the San Onofre nuclear plant in Southern California are so damaged they will be taken out of the service. His church lady said, isn't that special? We come back. We have some more great news. Dick Luger goes down. Down goes. Oh, and we got a little special song from TC's got ready to go on Real Talk 1160.
If you have to be at work at 8 o'clock this morning, you still can catch the second hour of Bulldog Nation. You can listen to us live online. Just go to realtalk1160.com and click on Listen Live. You can also use the TuneIn radio app on your iPhone or Droid. And now, let's get back to the Bulldog.
Eric Deters, the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. Rick Scott, who was at my law firm at the time of that high-maintenance chick, sent me a text. He remembers her.
Oh, wow.
In fact, Rick Scott deals with us a lot because he's like a domestic relations divorce lawyer extraordinaire. So he deals with crazy women all the time.
I wouldn't say they're crazy.
But he remembers her.
They're hanging out with people with money, crazy like a fox.
You know what? I wonder if there's this is a true story. I know a guy. In fact, we represented the woman in this against this guy in a divorce. And this young guy worked at Fidelity. And he hooked up with some rich Indian Hill widow or divorcee. And she bought him a car, bought him a new wardrobe, all this stuff. And then he cheated on her and got dumped.
Idiot.
He cheated on his sugar mama.
Oh, man.
Can you imagine having a sugar mama? That'd be funny.
I do imagine it quite often. I think about
that. Would be awkward, man. Hey, could I have some money?
Quit getting up at 5 in the morning.
Hey, to honor, we want to do a special honor. And, the Valerie Flume incident was an international debacle for American security because they released the name of Valerie as a CIA operative. And you know what? In Bulldog Nation, we want to apologize in advance that we are going to out the name of the agent, the double agent that gave us the information on the latest bomb plot, okay? We're going to let Johnny Rivers out. Go ahead, Johnny. Tell us who it was. Who was it? Who was it that cracked this case? Let's reveal it to the world. Okay, what's his name?
Yeah, who is he?
What's his name, Johnny? Come on, Johnny. Who is it? Let's out him. Ooh. Come on, Johnny. What's his name?
Secret. Underpants.
He's the secret agent man.
Underpants.
That must be his code name.
Code name Fruit of the Loom.
My code name is Secret Agent Man, a.k.a. Underwear Man.
I think it was the grape in the Fruit of the Loom. I think the grape was the double agent.
I love Johnny Rivers. Hey, his greatest hits, one of the best albums of all time. Secret Agent Man.
What's that? The
Summer Rain.
Poor Side of Town.
In fact, I'm going to make Summer Rain a feel-good song.
Yeah. Feel-good
song. Okay, shall we continue on the news?
Yeah.
The news that you count on the Bulldog to deliver every day. A law school in Washington University announced Tuesday that it would offer entirely online a master's degree in the United States law intended for lawyers practicing overseas. You can get your law degree online.
Really?
Now get this. Now this is a story. We got to get the secret agent man on this. And there's rumors, and I just wanted to spell rumors right now. Chuck Holbrook and the Bulldog Mafia had nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with it. It might have been Soprano's group, but Chrissy might have done it, but not Chuck Holbrook and the Bulldog Mafia. Police in central Pennsylvania are searching for a missing beer trailer loaded with 1,800 cases of Corona.
Whoa.
My question to you, Chuck, is how come we didn't do that deal?
How come we're not searching
How come we didn't get in on that action?
Yeah, we should be searching for that.
1,800 cases.
Man, we would have a tailgate party.
Hey, jeez, oh Pete.
We'd pack them at the UC Bearcats baseball game, wouldn't we?
Absolutely.
Free beer.
And we know you guys really care about, guys and gals, you really care about the John Edwards trial. A prominent developer in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, a guy by the name of Tim Tobin, said he called the Obama campaign in 2008 after Edwards told him he might be Obama's running mate. Tobin said he warned Obama advisors because he feared that the Edwards affair would have destroyed Democratic chances in the general election. Thanks a lot, Tim. Thanks a lot, Tim Tobin. If you would have kept your mouth shut, Obama would have picked Edwards, Edwards would have been busted, and we wouldn't have had Barack Obama.
Yeah, but we'd have John McCain and Sarah Palin.
John Edwards, man. What a just, ugh. Empty suit comes to mind.
You know, this guy could do us all a favor, save us all a lot of money, and just say, you know what, I'm guilty. Here.
I'm going to plead guilty.
Yeah. What can I do to get the least penalty?
You know he faces 30 years, although nobody expects he would get 30 years.
Wow.
If I was the judge, I could sentence him. Mr. Edwards, you're a despicable man. I'm giving you 30 years. Reading from a series of spiral notebooks that she used to record hours of intimate conversation, Mr. Edwards.
She set him
There
up.
was some sexting. Wendy Button recounted for a federal jury how the two practiced for potential questions from reporters. By the way, this Rielle Hunter,
Yeah.
what kind of a girlfriend or lover, or as you say, mistress, that she demanded all those things from you in that kind of pressure? In other words, if she really loved John Edwards, she would say, John, don't worry about me. What a high demanding, you know what? She was in that fraternity. She was in that fraternity of them crazy women.
That's what it was.
If it wasn't John Edwards, it would be somebody else. In fact, she did. She hung out at New York nightclubs looking on the hunt. Women hunting rich guys.
She had the leverage, and she knew that he had the means.
But that's terrible. I mean, if you really care about somebody, you don't blackmail them.
No, obviously she didn't. She was in it for the cash.
I tell you right now. Meanwhile, in North Carolina, they've become the 31st state to add an amendment. Voters ban same-sex marriage. It's illegal. God bless North Carolina. I agree with that. Sorry, folks. Just lost all the gay components.
Get the gay vote in 2020.
Despite pleading guilty to misdemeanor prostitution Tuesday, Catherine Scalia, no relation to the Supreme Court justice, at least I don't think so.
Let's hope not.
Maybe it's a cousin, 45 of East Rockaway, denies she sold sex out of her Long Island hot dog truck and vowed to be back on the street Wednesday in her bikini top in front of Pep Boys in Freeport. Free Catherine. The hot dog selling, bikini wearing prostitute.
It was calling me while we're on the air.
It's Catherine.
Just ringing it.
Police have charged them. I'm not making this up, folks. Police have charged the man accused of driving 3 blocks with 4 young children strapped to the hood of his car while driving drunk.
Wow. What?
Oh, my God. By the way, it happened in Indiana. Rumors has it was Dick Lugar. They spread this around. That's how Dick Lugar lost.
This poor guy.
Lugar's opponent said, hey, did you hear about Lugar? He had his kid strapped to the hood of his car.
Should have been a dog.
Driving drunk.
So wait a minute. This guy had his kids strapped to the car?
I'm not making this up. Now, here's another one, folks. This according to Smoking Gun. Calvin Bernard Hill, 54, was arrested on a felony battery charge following an altercation in the back of a PT Cruiser being driven by a female acquaintance when he stabbed the 41-year-old victim in the ribs after they left the party. You know what they were arguing about?
What's that?
Who had the most sex? I had more sex than you. No, you didn't. I had more than you. No, you didn't. Yeah, you did. No, I have more sex than you. It led to a knife fight.
Wow.
Jeez, oh Pete.
They were not practicing safe sex, were they?
I just want everybody to know in Bulldog Nation, I only strapped one child at a time to the hood of my car. Never all 4.
Thank you.
Oh, this is. Are you ready for some politics? This is late breaking news.
All right.
Romney won all 3 primaries yesterday.
No.
Indiana, North Carolina, and West Virginia. He won them all.
I miss Newt.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this beautiful song. We come back. I got some more fun, political fun for you on Real Talk 1160. Eric Deters, the Bulldog, on Real Talk 1160. TC, the first thing, if you are a teacher accused of having sex with a student, the first thing you should do is hire the Bulldog.
Get a lawyer.
My record is 0-1, and it's about to be 0-2.
Wait a minute, 0-2.
Excuse me, 1-0.
1-0.
And about to be 2-0.
All right.
I got my win in on the wrong columns.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I want to be on the right
I
side
am
of the
1-0,
win column.
and I will be about to be 2-0. Charlie Ritkers doesn't have that record.
See, if I was a teacher,
I am 1-0 representing teachers, and I will be 2-0 after the completion of Sarah Jones trial.
Yeah. So what's going on with that? Are we allowed to discuss that at all?
Not yet, but we will have the first international interview with Sarah Jones right here on Real Talk 1160.
All right.
because it's international news.
Is it really?
Yes. What do you think that'll do for the race? You think Jamie Schloy will give me a gift card for $10 to the dollar store if I get Sarah Jones in here?
Maybe, if you buy him something.
By the way, Sarah Jones and Cheryl Jones, not guilty. That's what's going to happen.
Let's hope so.
Just got to get that Kentucky law license back. Soon.
It seems that there are a lot of legal matters that involve the Bengals or staff members of the Bengals. Maybe we could do a reality show based on Bulldog's interaction with Bengals and their legal troubles. It's a long title, but...
Well, I am in my final negotiations with the contract for the attorney reality show, and the production shoots will probably begin next week.
Really? Well,
we're gonna get special lights in here because some of the stuff will come from the radio show.
And TC, we'll
are you ready to be a sidekick in the national reality show? I got a great cast of characters. You, Chuck, the people in the law office, everybody else, my wife who will never be interviewed. This is going to be great on the reality show. They're going to say, well, my wife won't agree to be on the show. The listeners across the country are going to be like, I wonder what his wife looks like.
Why? We can start all kinds of rumors. Oh, she used to be a mom. She was in Playboy. My kids
will be loving it. This is going to be great. Whiskey will be a star. Go ahead.
Why don't you hire an actress to play your wife?
Yeah, that's going to that would go over really good.
She'd love that.
We could mess with the audience. Like, will the real Mrs. Deters please stand up?
Every week have a different woman.
All right, folks, the big news in politics.
Newt's coming back.
With 39% of the vote, Lugar's out after 36 years in the Senate. Republican foreign policy elder statesman, Senator Richard, not Beretta, Lugar, 80, first elected to the Senate in 1976, was defeated in the Indiana primary Tuesday by State Treasurer Richard Murdoch. Not the same as the Fox News Murdoch.
No relation to Charlie.
Spelled differently. And guess what? He was a Tea Party candidate. You know what I wondered about all these jackwagon establishment Republicans? They probably ought to be a little more concerned about the Tea Party.
Yeah. You're right.
Santorum explained on his late night endorsement to Jay Leno, we decided to put it out late at night so it would be sort of the first thing people would see in the morning. I just want to tell everybody that when I want everybody to get my press release, I don't do it at 11 o'clock. I do it at like 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning.
Well, see, that was the idea, and someone said, I'll get around to it later, and they just forgot until it was like 11 o'clock bedtime. Like, oh, yeah, we got to do that press release. That's what it was.
According to the Wall Street Journal, Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett won the Wisconsin Democratic gubernatorial primary.
The Wisconsin?
He will face GOP incumbent Scott Walker in a recall election.
Scott.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, he might be a Democrat, but we love the Raging Cajun because he's entertaining and he's bald. This is what, when asked about the Democrats' chance of winning re-election, I wish I could try to do a Carvel, but I don't want to mess it up. When asked whether the Democrats have a chance of winning re-election, James Carville said, "What are you smoking? What are you drinking? What are you snorting? Or just what the hell are you thinking? Look around the world. Do you see any governments or incumbents winning any elections out there?" He's basically conceding it's over.
Wow.
And, of course, Carville is loyal to what political family? The Clintonistas.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that old Carville would kind of like to see Obama go down the tubes to set it up in 2016 for Hillary.
Yeah. That could be.
Hey,
that could be.
Who gains the most? This is hilarious. Barack Obama is leaning on Bill Clinton for campaigning. Hillary's staying out of it. If you notice, she says, "Hey, as Secretary of State, They are setting this thing up beautifully.
Oh, yeah.
So here's what's going on, folks. I know how to read these tea leaves. Bill Clinton is helping at Barack's request. He's helping Obama. Why? So when Obama loses, Bill Clinton gets to get all the Obama support. Say, "Hey, I went out there and helped you. I went out there and helped you." Meanwhile, they have all the old guard Democratic establishment, which are Clinton's people. Yeah. So they're going to have all of them. And guess what? Hillary Clinton, who was just a Secretary of State, didn't claim to be part of the campaign team, and she's able to say, "Hey, I was Secretary of State. I had nothing to do with domestic policy in this country. So the Democratic machine is going to be coming after Mitt Romney in 2016 with Hillary. And I tell you right now, it's going to be all about his performance. If Romney does a good job, he'll be okay. If not, he'll be out of there. Hillary will be the next president.
Yeah, and she's going to look like the girl next door.
Absolutely. And guess what? Unlike before, she's been battle tested. She ran for office. You know, they can't claim, oh, she's just Bill's wife. She was Secretary of State. I mean, she's got the credentials now.
She's got a fat resume, plus, you know, and she did a pretty good showing. She was pretty strong.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, this is setting up beautifully.
So what you're saying is coming up in 2016, or no, 2020, when Hillary's running for her second re-election.
Bulldog against Hillary in 2020, folks.
Now,
it will be epic.
Now, you know, I hate to tell you this, she's going to win Kentucky. You know that.
She'll win Kentucky against Romney.
Against you.
Against me. Oh, hell yes.
You know how Kentucky
hell yes.
is.
But by then, I will be running for president as governor of Ohio.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, see, it's called a chess game, baby. Okay. Move, counter move. Ohio's more important than Kentucky for the presidential election. I'm moving to downtown Cincinnati in a high-rise condo, and I'm running for governor in Ohio, and I will be governor of Ohio when I run for 2020 against Hillary.
So I should address you as Governor, Senator, Judge, Bulldog.
Yes. Bulldog Nation members are texting me now that there's no question I will beat Hillary.
Uh-oh. Phone call. Here we go. Exploratory committee.
Exploratory committee's forming. Let me see. Listen to this. Obama, collect 5 donations for a grassroots fundraiser by Thursday at midnight. And if your name is drawn out of a raffle, the president will send your mom a Mother's Day tweet. Oh, my God, folks. The President of the United States has lost his mind. I'm going to read this again. Collect 5 donations from a grassroots fundraiser by Thursday at midnight, and if your name is drawn out of the raffle, the president's going to send your mom a special Mother's Day tweet from at Barack Obama. I'm telling you, they're going to sell furniture out of the White House for campaign. Meanwhile, our crazy Uncle Joe Biden, the Vice President Biden referred to Obama as President Clinton and referred to the GOP nominee as President Romney. I'm telling you right, he might have Alzheimer's, in all seriousness. I mean, Biden might be getting the early stages of dementia. Let me see. Romney hits Obama, questions his directives. Obama takes his marching orders from union bosses. Romney said at a campaign event in Michigan Tuesday. Oh, my goodness, folks. How much time we got to the break?
2 minutes, about a minute and a half.
Well, I was going to get the prankster, but the prankster...
He's going to get us some information for us on someone that we should interview and call back.
Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, I was sent this by William Woods, who helps me with my newsletter. Okay? This is from Greene County, Virginia's GOP newsletter, as reported by the Huffington Post. Now, you got to ask your question. How come the Huffington Post reports this, but not me? Get this. Ponch McVee's column in the March edition of the Greene County, Virginia GOP newsletter calls for an armed revolution if President Barack Obama is elected to a second term in November. McVee also hosts a public radio show that airs every Saturday morning at 5:30 a.m. on Charlottesville WTJU. I'm sorry, Ponce McVee. I've been calling for an armed revolution for 2 years and can prove it. But I welcome the support. How you like that, TC? It's made the Huffington Post.
They must listen.
How come they didn't report my call for an armed revolution?
They got the memo late.
Can we not all agree that I was first? I think there's no question. But I support the effort, and this is going to spread, folks. Little douche scoop. When we come back, I think we got prankster. We got more radio superbity. The Bulldog on Real Talk 1160.
Remember, you're still down to one lane because of that mudslide on Columbia Parkway between Martin Drive and I-471. Also a wreck at Beekman Street and Westwood Northern Boulevard, and also an accident at Dana Avenue in Madison. And now let's get back to the Bulldog.
Eric Deters, the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. The texts and emails are pouring in, predicting my victory over Hillary in 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, 2020. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, there's another great reason to be running against Hillary Clinton.
Why is that?
None. Absolutely zero. I mean, this is unbelievable. This is the perfect opponent for me. You know why, TC?
Why is that?
None of the sins of my past could be used against me. I'm running against Hillary. It's like, are you kidding me? I mean, she's the perfect opponent for me.
Now I think
no sins of my past could be used against me because I'm running against Hillary and Bill.
Whatever she says, you could say, your husband did it too.
Exactly. Are you kidding me? I mean, she's perfect. I love that idea.
Your husband did it first.
I mean, I have to admit, I would never want to run against some like squeaky clean, sinless person. Yes, Hillary. This is. I tell you what. This is divine providence. I've always thought that I was called for a higher calling, and this is going to be it. The Bulldog versus Hillary. But oh my God, I just thought of something funny.
I'd rather see a cage match between the two of you.
Hey, would you rather? Would you rather? Just think how bad she's going to look at 2020. We could have a campaign commercial. The Bulldog or someone who looks like a bulldog.
Ooh,
that's too harsh. That's too harsh.
Yeah.
We're just thinking out loud here. We're just thinking out loud. We vetoed that commercial.
Now, if she's smart, what she'll do is she'll say, well, when he gets that phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning, what's he going to do? And your response is naturally, I'm getting ready for the radio show. Somebody else deal with this problem.
I wrote a special email yesterday about the conscience. You know, I wish the elected officials get a conscience. I think I broke a record for responses. Everybody loves it.
Yeah.
One Bulldog Nation member said, I will be your student. Teach me.
Be careful with that.
They were overwhelmed. I was like,
Yeah.
It was a female, too.
Be careful. Be careful.
It was a female.
Might be representing yourself.
Asking me to teach her. Mm-hmm. A private lesson? No. No private lessons.
Don't stand
We
so
keep
close
all
to
our
me.
lessons public. Now, this is a case. Now, I got to share this story with you. This is the kind of stuff that you're going to get in the Bulldogs reality television show, which I predict will be the #1 reality show in all the country. And what I'm about ready to tell you is proof of this. All right? This is a case. I'm not going to violate any attorney-client privilege here, but this is an incredible case. We are representing a man who was at a home where his brother was letting off fireworks. And at a fireworks show last year, one of the fireworks canisters tipped over, went off, and cost my client his eye. He's lost. I mean, his eye is out. I mean, gone. Okay? So the brother, who lives in a house owned by his mother, ignored letters and requests to, hey, what's your insurance information? So we had to file a lawsuit in order to get the factual information. When the brother was gone, this is funny. Now you have to understand, this other brother lived there. So what I'm about ready to say wasn't trespassing or nothing. It was kind of funny. While he was there, Chuck went over while the other brother was at work and videotaped the scene, so to speak.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we had to file a lawsuit to get the insurance information and everything else, trying to get some, money for our guy who lost his eye. The lawyer that's helping me on this case informed me yesterday that they've set up a site inspection to go over to the house again and check it out. The neighbor of this house where my client lost his eye, that guy is missing an eye too.
What?
And the question is, has he lost an eye due to the fireworks display?
Really?
What are the odds of our client losing his eye and the neighbor not having an eye.
That's a little too
weird.
Yeah, weird. Exactly.
These are the type of entertaining stories that will be told on Bulldog reality show. Is that hilarious? And sad at the same time.
For the two
Losing
guys,
an eye is terrible, but it's kind of funny that, wait a minute, how'd the neighbor lose an eye? Just a coincidence?
You know I had a one-eyed dog when I was a kid? Not a
we,
joke.
we had a three-legged dog.
Did you really?
His name was Cody. He was a border collie.
Cody.
Yeah, good dog. How was your one-eyed dog? Did he run into things, or could he see okay?
No, she was fine after a while, and I blame the mailman, actually, because she got sprayed one time. But it was a few weeks for her to adjust. I mean, she did. She would cut the corners a little too sharp. What they call it, she did not negotiate the curve correctly first few weeks, but after that she was fine. Dogs, they adapt. They do pretty well.
They do adapt. But it's an interesting case.
That is.
Poor guy lost his eye.
You know, I can't even go with the punchline there. It's just not even fair. You know,
I know.
It's just not even fair. All right.
The homeowner's insurance hopefully is enough to, significant. I hope it's more than $100,000.
Yeah.
I hope it's $1 million.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
I mean, geez, Pete. Let me see what we have in economics.
So apparently that fireworks display was better than what North Korea pulled a month ago, huh?
Yeah. These backwards fireworks, they never go good. Somebody's going to the ER. I'll get this. This is funny, too. The guy lied on where he bought the fireworks. And we know that because we talked to this guy. And the guy where he bought the fireworks from said, well, first of all, I know he didn't buy the fireworks, and even if he did, he violated all instructions of what I would have given had he's. So we got an expert witness and a lie.
Did the guy buy the fireworks in Florence?
You got to get up pretty early in the morning to beat the Bulldog. I have an army. I got photographers, videographers, private investigators, nurses, former cops. I got an army of troops out there that we dig in and we get the facts.
Boone County's they're funny about their fireworks sales, so.
TC, it has nothing to do with Florence.
I thought I was hoping it was. That was going to be my movie script.
The government Tuesday slashed its forecast for average gas prices to $3.79 per gallon for the summer driving season. That's down from an initial estimate of $3.95. Some little good news.
Yeah.
Gas prices are going to come down a little bit. Doesn't that make you feel good?
We get the crumbs.
Mortgage rates may be at rock bottom levels, but the cost of getting loan is on an upswing thanks to reduced competition among banks and tougher lending requirements.
Well,
let me tell you something, folks. Is a real life story that just absolutely will drive me nuts. My daughter, Charlie Ann, works as a great job as at Cloud9, cutting hair, doing hair, and her husband has a good job down at the Water District. Okay, neither one of them have ever had a credit card or borrowed money or anything else. Two good jobs. My daughter has enough money to put down a significant down payment on this house they're going to buy from my brother because they leased this house from my brother. My brother bought another house, so they're leasing this house. They went to see a banker the other day, and get this. Well, you don't have credit established yet. What are you talking about? Two good jobs, no adverse credit, TC.
Right.
No adverse credit. Money to put down. You don't have enough credit established yet.
Well, you know how those mortgage bankers are.
So you know what it's kind of like? Oh, you have too much credit cards open. They don't have any credit cards. They don't have any debt. They don't have any defects. Money to put down. Two good jobs. And the banker tells them, well, you don't have credit established yet.
You have to go in debt to get good credit.
It's messed up.
I mean, you have to go into debt to establish credit.
People wonder why the country is messed up. I'll do another one for you. My good buddy, this young boy named Ross, Bulldog Nation member, listens to the show every day, newsletter, big fan. This young kid, 21 years old, goes to college, goes to school, works full-time job, saved $40,000. He's been trying to buy foreclosed properties with cash
Yeah.
They won't even talk to him. Incredible. It's messed up, folks, on Real Talk 1160. Eric Deters, the Bulldog, on Real Talk 1160. Joining us in the studio for his weekly appearance.
Oh my God!
What?
Guess who's here?
Who?
Plastic Man!
What's up, Doc?
Plastic Man!
Dr. Lawrence Kurtzman from the Kurtzman Plastic Surgery. We are the only show in the country with their own plastic surgeon. No jokes, please. I have never been touched, maybe I should have, by a See, to keep up the Bulldog persona, I got rid of the BMW and drive an F-150 pickup truck, and I got to keep all of these scars and fat and everything else to keep up the rugged blue-collar persona. If I got, like, a Kenny Rogers face, Dr. Kurtzman, people would just lose. They'd say the Bulldog wasn't real anymore.
Yeah, the trick to all good plastic surgery is to look so good that no one knows you had it done, that you look natural, you look human. You don't look like Kenny Rogers or Joan Rivers.
I'll tell you, if somebody had some work done, and it was been as Christy Brinkley. Christy Brinkley looks good, and you can tell she had work, but she looks better, not worse.
Right, because she looks like Christy Brinkley. She looks like she did, 10, 15, 20 years ago in those little bathing suit issues of Sports Illustrated that we all remember.
I got to share a funny story. I know everybody likes these life experience stories. Sharon from the law office, my law office is right down the hall from the radio studio, brought in Monday a plate of brownies. And what was great about these brownies is not only they were nice chocolatey brownies, they didn't have nuts. I don't like brownies with nuts.
No.
So anyway, there was a plate of brownies out there, and I took one, ate one, and then we left. And I get a text message from sales lady Patty, who says, Bulldog, who brought in the brownies? And I text back, Sharon from the law office, and she said, okay. That was the end of it. I thought, why did she want to know? I have found out this morning the reason why they asked before they devoured them and ate them, everybody, they just assumed that the Bulldog has enemies. And it might have been Jay Garrett or somebody from the Kentucky Bar Association might have poisoned the brownies and sent them. So they wanted to make sure. Did they have a monkey, or like in the board, just they had monkeys always test the food before they? Did they have some animal taste a brownie to make sure they didn't die before eating them? TC?
Actually, we did. Steve Jarnicki actually ate a brownie, and we said, "Well, let's."
Steve Jarnicki was the test person.
Yeah, we're going to wait an hour, and if he's still in his office, if he's still making calls, then they're okay. We didn't know. They could have come from anywhere. They sat there all morning.
That is funny.
It's like
Steve Jarnicki was the stooge.
We
Doc.
didn't tell him that. We said, Steve, we make these brownies because you do such a great job with the UC Bearcats broadcast. So we want you to have these. Don't thank us now. Just go take a bite. Go ahead, take a bite.
Yeah, it's like Indiana Jones's monkey that went down and said,
Right.
Bad dates.
Fortunately, Steve Jarnicki is alive and well.
I saw him this morning. He looked good.
They were made by Sharon. But you know what? I could make Sharon mad, and she poisoned the brownies.
No, well, once we found out with Sharon, they were okay. But Steve Jarnicki is alive and well, and we'll be doing UC broadcast this afternoon. Okay,
very good, very good, very good. Dr. Kurtzman, we usually wait till the end, but I'll give you the opportunity now. Do you have anything you want to promote at Kurtzman Plastic Surgery, like enlargements or anything else that you have?
Well, we want to celebrate the whole month of May. A lot of people celebrate Mother's Day. We're going to call it Mother's Month. Maybe some people call it Mother's Year, Mother's Millennium, Mother's Everything. But anyway, we're having lots of specials going on. We sent out some emails. You can call into our office, 513-891-4440. Specials on Botox, specials on Juvederm, specials on surgery. This is the time to get it done. Look good for the summer. People are really pouring in right now. It's very, very busy, but we're always room for more.
All right, now that we took care of the trivial things, I got to ask you a serious question.
Yes, sir.
The latest in the international news is that terrorists have had non-metallic bombs surgically implanted in bodies for bombs. My question for you, my serious question for you, after that shameless self-promotion you just did, my serious question for you is this.
I learned from the best.
Have you ever had, I was tongue-in-cheek, folks. Have you ever had some guy come in named Mohammed who asked you to place implants that he brought in into his wife's breasts like, Dr. Kurtzman, I want you to place these into my wife. No, we use our own. No, I want you to use these. Here's $1 billion. Here's $1 billion to place these. Has that happened because the CIA and the FBI and Homeland Security is watching you plastic surgeons for this? Has that happened to you?
That has not happened, and I hope that never happens.
Will your radar be up? Will you promise the American jury that Dr. Kurtzman will not plant suspicious packages inside the anatomy of Mohammed's wife?
I guarantee it. That reminds me of one of the early Nip Tuck episodes. Do you ever see Nip Tuck?
Yeah, I love Nip Tuck. I saw every episode and own every episode.
Weren't you on that show?
I'd love to be.
It got a little weird at the end, man.
It got a lot weird, but the first 2 years I thought were very clever.
Absolutely.
I remember the one episode where they had somebody coming up from Colombia, and they took out the breast implants, and it turns out they were filled with cocaine.
Wow. And people can live that way, I suppose?
They're not permeable, so it doesn't get through. The implant ruptures, they die very quickly. Though.
Unless it's double D's, you're not bringing in much cocaine that way. I mean, I could think of so many better ways of bringing in cocaine.
Look at the kilos on that babe. So now, is this your busy season? We just, 3 weeks away from Memorial Day.
Yeah,
weekend.
Springtime is probably the busiest time of the year. People getting ready for the summer, whether it's the breast enhancement, the liposuction, lots of tummy tucks recently. People want to look good for the summer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, if you haven't bought your mom or your lady something good for Mother's Day yet, a gift certificate or just set up an appointment with Dr. Kurtzman, I'm sure Dr. Kurtzman would just make their day by making them look even more beautiful than they already are.
No, they would have to have an interest in that first, right? I mean, you wouldn't just say, "Oh, by the way, I think you need to see Dr. Kurtzman."
Yeah, that doesn't go over real big.
But if they
have to express the interest first. That's always the best way. You never say to your wife or girlfriend, you really need such and such.
That's trying to promote self-esteem.
It reminds me of the Geico commercial where Honest Abe, they had that black and white commercial of Honest Abe, and Mary Todd is in that dress, and she says, "Does this make my butt look big?" And Honest Abe goes, he doesn't speak. She walks out of the room.
Well,
never fall for that. Never say, "How does it?" You look marvelous.
Honey, the dress has nothing to do with it.
You look marvelous.
Yeah, that's one of those questions you can't answer yes or no. You get in trouble.
So you look great. You look fabulous. What are you talking about?
Right. It's like, do you like my new haircut?
Love it.
Well, if you say, yeah, but you say yes, that means, oh, you didn't like the old one.
Right. You're stuck.
You have to say, well, what do you think of it, dear?
Exactly.
Dr. Kurtzman, you're an international kind of guy. I got a couple international news stories that are worth sharing with the ladies and gentlemen of the American jury. Carlos Slim. Now, this cat was the richest man in the world. And you got to love it. His name is Carlos Slim. Offered $3.4 billion to increase his stake in ailing Dutch telecom Royal KPN, sparking speculation that the world's richest man could start to snap up beaten down European assets. The rich keep getting richer. Carlos Slim is making a move into Europe.
I think a lot of people, but it's a lot in the United States. It happens too. A lot of overseas interest buying hotels and casinos. It's just not. It's a global economy now. The rich get richer.
What's it like to be the richest man in the world?
I'd settle for.
That's got to be great.
I'd settle for second or third. I
mean, geez, oh Pete, you walk around town. There's the richest guy in the world. I'd like to be. You know what? I'd settle for being the richest guy in Independence, which would be pretty good because Biz Kane's pretty rich. My dad's pretty rich. We have a few rich people, not as many as Indian Hill, but there's some rich people in Independence. We have 5 or 6.
I think
that's my goal. I want to be the richest man in Independence.
I'm the richest person in my house. Well, on the second floor.
Also,
by the way,
and your room too, right there.
Yeah.
Speaking of rich, Biz Kane, who was one of the founders of the Bank of Kentucky, he has a home in Mexico. I'll bet you Carlos Slim comes over for dinner. I got to talk to John about that. I went to Latin school with John, his son, who now runs the company. Have you ever done business with Wiseway?
I have not.
It's a good electrical company. I went to Latin school with John. He was a terrible basketball player, but he was a smart kid.
Here's a left-handed compliment. Thanks, Bulldog. Thanks.
Well, you can't have everything.
By the way, speaking of independence, where do you live?
I live in Cincinnati in Amberley Village.
Are you the richest man in Amberley Village?
I'm the richest man in my house.
You too, huh?
It is.
Would you like to be the richest man in Amberley Village?
Absolutely.
Who's your competition?
There's some good competition there. The Mayersons, the Gutmans, the Fishers.
The Mayersons, yeah, forget about
There's
it.
some
Doc, you're going to have to do a lot of breast augmentations
Yes,
to
I
catch
am.
the Mayersons. Maybe invent something. Have you ever invented anything like for plastic surgery?
I have not, but I think that's the way to go.
I mean, you invent something like Whammo, you some crazy toy, jarts. You create jarts, and the next thing you know, you're a billionaire.
Well, you want to invent something to get rid of cellulite.
There
People are out there; they'll do anything to get rid of it. There's, lotions and potions
That's
and
a good
lasers.
idea.
Basically, nothing works.
Exercise.
Exercise is good. Doesn't fix cellulite. Nothing fixes cellulite.
Really?
Except cutting it out. So if you get a tummy tuck and you have a lot of stretch marks and cellulite on the lower abdomen,
I feel sorry
Stretch
for women
marks.
when they get the varicose veins, cellulite, all the things they just can't help. Man, we become gray and distinguished when we get older, right? Right, guys?
There you go.
When we come back, more Radio Superbity on Real Talk 1160.
Don't forget, coming up at 9 o'clock this morning, it's Laura Ingram, 9 to noon, for your healthy radio addiction. Right now, let's get back to Radio Superbity with the Bulldog.
Eric Deters, the Bulldog on Real Talk 1160. Dr. Kurtzman, if any members, and particularly some of the captains, the Capios, and the Bulldog Mafia, need to have their face done to protect their identity or conceal their identity, do you have a discount rate for members of the Bulldog Mafia?
Well, for the Bulldog Nation, we do. We have.
Thank you.
Yeah, if people come in and say Bulldog sent them, we do give them a discount. We thank Bulldog on the air. He recently sent a patient in, actually as recently as yesterday. No names mentioned.
If you need anything plastic surgery-wise to make yourself look better, go to Dr. Kurtzman. Now, moving on to some more serious business of this country. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, I am not making this up. This is so funny, but it is true. Just how unpopular is President Barack Obama in some parts of the country? Enough that a man in prison in Texas named Keith Judd, he is serving time at the Beaumont Federal Correctional Institution in Texas for making threats at the University of New Mexico. He is now getting, I can't believe this. He is now receiving and did receive in West Virginia, 93% of the precincts reporting, Obama received 60%, and this incarcerated federal prisoner got 40% of the Democratic primary vote. I voted against Obama, said Ronnie Brown, a 43-year-old electrician from Cross Lanes who called himself a conservative Democrat. I don't like him. He didn't carry the state before, and I'm not going to let it carry it again. When asked which presidential candidate he voted for, he said, that guy out of Texas. Judd was able to get on the state ballot by paying $2,500 fee and filing a form known as a notarized certification of announcement, said Jake Glantz, a spokesman for the Secretary of State's office. Attracting at least 15% of the vote would normally qualify a candidate for a delegate to the Democratic National Committee.
Wait a minute. How does a convict get to run for office?
In West Virginia, they can. The state party believes judges failed to file the paperwork requested for a delegate. This guy is a long-haired friend of Jesus. Check him out. His photograph. He's got a ponytail longer than a baseball bat.
He looks very presidential.
But he's got 40% of the vote. Yippee! Barack's going down.
Wait a minute. In West Virginia.
Who cares? It's a sign
West
of the times.
Virginia.
How embarrassing. A convict from Texas who's got a long-haired hippie federal convict is getting 40% of the vote in the Democratic primary in West Virginia. That's hilarious. Couldn't we agree on that?
You can't make that up, can you?
No, you cannot. You cannot. I think that's an issue with West Virginia.
That sounds like a major issue, yes.
Hey, stop picking on West Virginia. You know, West Virginia was once upon a time, during the time of Jefferson and Marshall and Madison and Washington, it was actually part of the state of Virginia. Don't ever forget that.
Are those guys living there now?
No.
But they have some great inventions coming out of there.
What are some of the inventions out of West Virginia?
Did you ever hear of a toothbrush?
Yeah.
Because if it was anywhere else, it would have been a teeth brush.
Where's my rim shot?
Oh, my God. Oh, you little funny man, plastic surgeon, Dr. Kurtzman is.
Your convict buddy there running for election could have a great campaign slogan, I am a crook.
I like that.
But I'm more an honest crook than the one that's in the White House now.
I don't know about that. That remains to be
I have
seen.
to admit, if I was in West Virginia, I would have voted for Judd. I wonder if he's related to Ashley Judd. Probably not.
His hair's longer than hers.
They could have voted for Uncle Dad in West Virginia. You know, who knows?
Well, all I'd say, that's an embarrassment. A few things I want to bring everybody up to date on going on Bulldog Nation, which is pretty fun. I'm not making this up. I am in negotiations for an attorney reality show, which is going to be kind of fun. And we are also, we have BulldogTV.com and we have EricDetersTV.com. And we're actually going to probably put together a lineup of computer television shows and whatnot with great content. And we're just doing lots of stuff. We are embracing the new world media. And it's kind of exciting. It's kind of fun. And Dr. Kurtzman, you seem like a guy. You know what we ought to do? We ought to have a Dr. Kurtzman show.
I'd love that.
On Bulldog TV, the Dr. Kurtzman show. See, there's more content. And the T.C. Summers Rock and Roll Hour.
I like that.
That's how Dr. Phil started, right?
They'll call it American Bandstand.
That's a great name, T.C. We'll
Nobody's using
trademark that.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's using that one right
Chris
now.
Mackey, we need to get American Bandstand trademarked. God, that is a great idea. You got something in your hand you're dying to say, I can tell.
Yeah, Bruce Davis is having some computer issues. Just want to let people know there's a wreck South 75 or South 71 at the 275 exit, an accident at Kemper Lane off of McMillan, and a wreck at Beekman Street in Westwood. That one there is in the cleanup stages, so you're getting by okay there. That's all. Now back to the Bulldog.
I hope everybody's okay, but if you're not, 859.
Or 513.
Eric at EricDeters.com. These are Ohio accidents, right?
Yes, these are.
They were not Kentucky accidents. I don't want to violate any rules.
They may need me first.
By the way,
That's true.
let's hope they don't need either one of us. Let's hope everybody's okay.
We always hope for that.
You know what? These cars, it is true, cars today, between the seat belts and between the airbags and between the, cars are a lot more crash resistant and proof than they used to be.
Well, that's very true. And there's medical statistics that show that. It used to be before airbags, before seatbelts, and we used to have higher speed limits, that the amount of facial fractures that we would fix was astronomically more than it is now. We used to have broken faces, the cheekbones, the jaws from car accidents. You just don't see much of that anymore.
Airbags have got to be a huge factor in that. In fact, now that enough time's passed, every car does have airbags. For a while there, some didn't. And here's another thing that people don't realize about the history of the automobile and car accidents. The first steering wheels, and by the way, people that attack lawyers, some of this stuff, changes came apart, because of lawyers challenging these things. The first steering wheel was a single rod that was, straight from the axle to the steering wheel, and it would impale people. Wow. I mean, in an accident, it would just impale. Now the steering column all breaks down. That's not the case now. You don't have a straight impaling spear coming right at your chest. But that was a real problem back in the day.
Yeah, you make a little shish kebab.
Yeah.
But yeah, the airbags, the steering wheels, all the innovations. And it did take a while to get the airbags because the car manufacturers didn't want to spend the extra $500, $800 to install them just because they didn't think they could get that money back in increased sales and revenue.
Yeah, and then of course the shoulder strap. I mean, it used to be just a regular seat belt, and then there's, one thing. And I'm not advocating this because I'm a liberty lover. I don't like more rules and more regulations. But one thing that I always marvel about is that, an automobile driving 70, 55, 60, 70, 80 miles per hour, you're passing people on 2-lane highways just 4 feet as you pass, and all the danger. When you really think about it, it's kind of messed up that we don't, not that there was a law to require it, that we don't wear helmets driving a car.
You don't have to wear one ride on
I
a
mean,
motorcycle.
I know no, you don't have to, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying, I'm surprised at least some people that are like worried about everything don't wear a helmet driving a car. Think about the danger of driving a car. Why wouldn't you wear a helmet?
Well, it used to be when people would go into the windshields, that probably did make a difference. Now with airbags, that's much less frequent.
Smell opportunity.
There you go.
Well, maybe George Bush has been wearing a helmet.
The
when he drives.
green water car helmet.
That could be a distraction.
Insulated with slimy green water.
Ooh, now that could work.
You see,
Yeah.
we use the green water for the insulation. Dr. Kurtzman, we're about up. Any final words from you, funny guy?
Yeah, I wish everyone out there happy Mother's Day. Come on in and we'll fix you up. And we've got lots of specials going on. Kurtzman Plastic Surgery in Kenwood, 513-891-4440.
KurtzmanPlasticSurgery.com.
Never settle.
TC, any final words from you before I give my final words?
Never trust the mistress.
That's always his final words.
That's it.
Never. You know, I trademark that. Chris
by
Mackey,
those
that's right. Register that.
That too.
Every dog has their day. I hope today and tomorrow is yours. I believe we have delivered our promise to deliver Radio Superbia today and every day. This was the best Wednesday show of the week.
Yes.
Tomorrow we will give you the best Thursday show we've ever done this week on Real Talk 1160.